guess so.
Welcome to the September 14th, 2023 membership meeting. First off, I'd like to establish a quorum. We do have. And do I hear a motion to approve the minutes from April 13th? And Mike?
Did anyone read them?
Okay, a couple of little housekeeping things I'd like to get. First off, we do have a new member at large for the board, and that is Marianne Judd. She is working along with us, as well as, of course, she has taken over for the wonderful Marianne Coates in ordering all of our clay, and she's doing a fabulous job, and I'd just like to welcome Marianne. Also,
She should stand up. So
Yes, thank you. Oh,
Come on.
take a bow. Also, I'd like to welcome Jill Willis. You still here?
Jane.
Oh, Jane Willis. I'm sorry, Jane. Guess I better put my glasses back on. Jane is going to be taking over the card responsibility for Pam. And again, thank you, Pam, for the years you put into that, and welcome, Jane. Also, one of the suggestions that were in the suggestion box was to get notification out a little better for members who have passed. Okay? In the past, we were real cautious about what we put out and what we wouldn't, but if it is a member who has passed, Jane will be in charge of, so if you know that, please let her know so she can get a card out, and she will pass it on to Jude to put into our med time so everybody is notified.
Okay.
Okay? Okay, next item is, just wanted to mention that we're in the process, the board's in the process of appointing or just questioning committee leads who's staying on and who is not. So we'll be working on that the next couple of months. And as well as looking for a lead for the nominating committee. We're working with that. And also, we have a new committee. And this committee is going to be assigned under Marianne Judd, and they are called the Clay Loaders. We have a couple of wonderful guys who have volunteered, Tom Light and, what is Ron's last name? Camarada. They are going to be our clay loaders, which is what that means. I see questions out there. Is every time we get a load of clay in, which usually is about 2,000 pounds, we need somebody to offload them, and those two have stepped up to take on that responsibility to come in as Marianne needs them to offload the clay and put it behind the monitor desk for us. Neither way. But thank you guys, we do appreciate that. Okay, and we seem to have a little problem with the glaze, and I think we have a few things that we need to talk about housekeeping wise, and I think part of it is we've got so many new people this year. I mean, like 50 of them, I think, something like that. And I just want to make sure that if you notice somebody who looks like they're struggling or maybe doing the wrong thing, if maybe we can delicately go up and help coach them. We have run into problems with the black glaze a week or two ago. When we came in, there was grit in the glaze and wonderful Candy Brada came in on Saturday, and she had to strain it 6 times. That big, huge bucket of glaze 6 times to get the grit out. And what it looks like is that maybe someone wasn't aware that you cannot glaze greenware. It looked like clay had dissolved in there. So if we can maybe just work together as a club and welcome our new people in and maybe help guide them a little bit, it'll save us all a lot of heartache, because That glaze costs somewhere between $200 to $500 a bucket. So we don't want to be just throwing out glaze if we can avoid that. So also the other thing I wanted to mention is don't be afraid if you've done something wrong. I do things wrong, we all do. We make mistakes. Yes, you do. If you have a question or a problem or are afraid that you've done something wrong, step up. You're not going to get in trouble. We're just going to resolve the problem, and it's a learning lesson.
I almost did it. I did. It was on the drying rack, and I kept waiting, thinking about glazes, and I was talking to somebody, I said, oh, it's finally dry, I can glaze, and I said, Lori, you need to low fire too. And I almost did it. So, there, and I've been here 5 years, and I'm on the board.
Yes.
I've been in the club, it'll be a year next month, and just for the people that are new, what I discovered like my first 2 or 3 weeks, never be afraid to ask somebody, because everyone here is very helpful. So don't be afraid. If you have a question, ask. And if they don't know, they'll hand you over to someone who can help you.
Yes.
But it's never, I've never had anyone make me feel stupid or not answer my question. Everyone here is helpful. So
I agree with that.
Yes,
I
yes.
definitely agree. So anyway, step up, don't be afraid, and in fact, yeah, that's up. There we go. It'll be better for you, for all of us. Okay. And I had a suggestion about RACU. RACU is a wonderful committee, and there were some people who are concerned about the smell of it. The smell comes with the RACU, and they are part of our club and will continue to be. They do send out notifications of when they're going to fire every month in the Mud Times, as well as hanging a sign up in the club. So I would just ask if you are sensitive to that odor, because it does get strong. But if you are sensitive to that odor, perhaps think about maybe coming in on the day after or the day before they're going to be firing. Sorry, I know it's an odor, but it's a wonderful product and it is part of our club. Okay? And I think there's one other item I'd like to mention. I think most of you know Betty Cool, and that she had a heck of a time with her heart surgery, and she ended up back in the hospital this last week. Luckily, it wasn't serious, and she just needs to slow down a little bit. She went full on into it, so she'll probably be back in next week. But she has asked me to please thank everyone profusely for their kind words and prayers through her time that she was out for surgery. And she may be having to pass off Wednesday morning fun to Carol. So if there's someone else who's willing to help Carol, that would be great. I'm pretty sure Gianna will when she comes back, but anybody willing to step forward, that would be terrific. And that's all I have right now. So if we can go to Deb for August financials.
Okay, at the end of August, in our checking account, we had $4,807.92. In the savings account, $11,500.15. CD number 1, $10,087.08. CD 2, $20,174.16. CD 3, $20,174.16. Which made our cash assets at $66,743.47. The 3 CDs earn their interest every day, but they are not deposited until the end of the term, which is on December 9th. And so as of August 31st, the interest earned on those 3 CDs was $462.47. Any questions? I wanted to bring up the gift certificates. We've had a couple of very large gift certificates being purchased. And it has come to my attention that it is very confusing for the monitors and the bookkeeping. I mean, I figured it out, but you can't ask someone to spend $100. You know, it's kind of hard.
Yeah.
So when issuing, we're still gonna do it the same, but we're gonna have a minimum of $10 for a gift certificate, maximum of $25. So if someone wants a $100 gift certificate, we will issue them 4 $25 gift certificates and no change will be given. So if they want, you know, $100, if they want $10 ones, they can have that too. But it just makes accounting easier, and because they're rare, it's hard for all the monitors to remember exactly what to do with it and what the running total is and all that stuff. So it's just a guideline, $25 max, $10 minimum. They can buy as many as they want, but it has to be used all at the same time.
That makes sense, yeah.
Thank you, Deb. Okay, next we're going to do committee reports, and I know that some people are here and some are not. So first we have membership. Lori, is Donna here for that?
Yeah, yep.
Did you have anything to say, Donna?
I have membership, we have,
Hold on, can't hear you. You don't have to hold it close.
membership, we have, my notes, 360 people, and also in lockers. We have 290 lockers, means a lot of people don't have lockers. All the lockers are gone. So anybody waiting for a locker, you're gonna wait a long time now until you do membership in a new year. I guess we just ask that anybody that wants to keep their membership status, make sure you do your 4 monitoring. If you want to keep your locker, in addition, to do 24 times to come in, visits to come in, and people need to set that up a little bit. So otherwise, you need to talk to me or even Lori to find out if there's a, you know, if you've been sick or something's been going on. How we can work that out. But anyway, I think that's about it.
Thanks, Donna. Okay, next we have education. Nobody else has anything to say? Doreen,
I'm talking for maybe if I get the frog on my throat. Frog? Yeah. Noreen's been under the weather a little bit, so I'm gonna talk for her. She has done a fantastic job with Michelle Judge for the new beginning hand building classes. I'm sure you've seen some of the products coming out, so why don't you give a round of applause?
Great job, both of you.
Yes, they are fantastic. We have another class going on now with Michelle, and hopefully it's going good too, sort of. Okay. Well, you never know, you know, what students you're gonna get. Okay, so that project is going fine. The next would be, I guess everything is going, Mark said he had nothing to say, so that's just RECU, and safety is going good, and if RECU, I know I've seen it on the calendar, is planned for the next, whatever, October, I think you're coming in.
November.
October, November, when most of the other ones are back. Other than that,
Mention that you have 2 classes in January.
oh, yeah. And to get, we have quite a list still as usual, because every time we get down 8 people, 10 people sign up, so you never really get ahead yeah, until they say, I don't want to do it anymore. And then you come in January and February and March, we will still be doing double classes. There will be 2 teachers in a class with 8 students. wow. Well, it doesn't sound so bad. Just one teacher will be ahead. The other teacher will just be like an assistant, but she's not. She's going to end up with her 4 students. The other one will end up with her 4 students. So we just get through maybe some of the snowbirds coming back a little faster. Wendy, do you have anything to say? You're on that committee. Wendy does all the calling for all the classes, so we really appreciate that.
So I just got done building the January classes, because it seems like if I give people more notice, I can alleviate all their doctor appointments that they haven't made yet. Because they can make them around.
Schedule the time what's important, which is club.
That's right.
Yeah, that's all I have.
Thank you.
Thank you, Norma. Pat, excuse me.
No, I just have a question.
Yeah,
I know there had been talk about some of the wonderful things that the new hand builders, I'll just talk louder, have been making that some of us never learned, and they were gonna look at putting up other classes that we could learn all that. Is that in the works still?
I can tell you that right now.
yeah, Norma.
I'm gonna be teaching in December a casserole class for anybody that wants to take it. It will be limited to 10 or 15 people.
Okay,
Because it's a pretty intense class and it's gonna be about 4 hours long, so.
okay.
I did get with Betty Poole, but now that Betty's down, I don't have the date yet, but she said December sometime,
Okay,
so. look
I was
for
just
it.
curious because it's.
And it'll probably be on a Wednesday morning fun kind of thing. but
Okay.
It'll be a set number of people.
So if everybody didn't hear, yes, there is a class, December time period, and there is no charge for the class, right? Okay, next, Pat, did you have anything to report? Of course.
A whole list of things here.
Your social committee has been very busy planning activities through the end of the calendar year. The next one is September 21st. We're calling it Let Us Eat because it's a salad and dessert potluck. There's no charge. It is for members only because in the Dick Lee studio we don't have room for guests. We usually fill that up. So when you sign up, you're just going to sign up for bringing either a salad or a dessert so that we'll have a balance. If you're in between, you can look at the list and decide. The lunch will be served at 1 o'clock that day. And so if you're planning to come, please be here right about 1 o'clock. The parking lot might be closed. And if the parking lot is closed, we will have representatives with carts or wagons over at the other parking lot to help you carry things across.
Nice, nice idea.
The next party will be October 31st, and it's called Spooky Spuds. It's on Halloween, and we will be having, back by popular demand, our baked potato bar that we had a year ago in the spring. It is Halloween. It will be held right here in our courtyard and in the club. And costumes are encouraged, and some prizes will be given away for the best costumes. The menu will be the baked potato bar, and this is our beer and wine. And so you'll be signing, when the time comes, you'll be signing up for which beverage you might be interested in having. Guests are welcome to this function, and the price will be $7. And this is a little different than what we've done in the past, is that as food prices increase, this one is sort of a lower price, so we're asking everyone to just pay the $7 to come. And for that $7, you'll get the baked potato bar with baked potatoes, chili, and all of the dressings for that, as well as the beer and wine. And so we're asking for a $7 donation from everyone, guests and members. The sock tree was such a great thing that we did last winter, and so start looking for sales on socks, baby socks, all the way up to adult socks and everything silly, plain, ordinary, every kind of sock you can find. And that tree will be up early in November through December 3rd. The holiday party is on December 3rd, and we're going to call it Mix and Jingle. And it will be at Palm Ridge. It will start at 4 o'clock. We're also going to call that Undie Sunday, because we're going to ask you once again to bring a silly pair of undergarments. And even though we didn't plan it last year, one of the highlights of our party was the fashion show. And so if you see a silly pair of underwear or other types of undergarments and have that one wrapped, and then if you bring serious ones,
those could just go and we'll put them in a basket, and all of those will be going to downtown Phoenix to a homeless shelter. And, of course, that holiday party is for members and their guests. And we're working with the board. I just gave them the potential menu. But again, know that prices on food have gone up significantly. And so the board will be making some decisions with some information I gave them today. So watch for more information. And I'll probably be back next month and share more details about the holiday party. But just in case you're wondering, find your brightest and best friends to sit with once again, because we'll be doing trivia. Okay, are there any questions for the social committee?
Thank you for all you do.
Okay, and next we'll hear from Shauna regarding kilns.
And the only thing the kiln committee had to say was, make sure you pick up all your fired pieces as quickly as you can so the shelves don't get too full. And the other thing is your glazed pieces, when you submit a glazed piece to the shelf to be fired, please make sure you get it clean. You have the bottom clean, the 1/4 inch from the bottom there. Because just clean them very carefully. And that's pretty much it. But
Did you have anything from the Glaze Committee? Linda, do you have anything? No?
I do.
You do?
Uh-oh.
Lucy! Hang on, let me get you the microphone.
I'd just like to add to that, people are not putting down what kind of glaze they're using. And it's very helpful for the fires to know my own glaze, what the hell is that? It could be pretty clear, it could be stroke and coat, we don't know, but it makes a difference. Because like stroke and coat doesn't move that much, but
Some of the other stuff.
what your intent was. And so I really strongly encourage everyone to completely fill out any information you can give us on those tickets. And I just can't seem to fill them out completely. I don't understand what the problem is.
Do you need color too, or just like if I bought a lot of Coyote, that Varshan, do I have to put the color or just Coyote?
Coyote helps, that's all.
All right.
Thank you, I wasn't aware of that either.
Okay.
So I'll make sure that it's still
Can we,
covered.
can we change the ticket and put a thing beside my glaze and put brand or whatever, so that
My
somebody
glaze is the very first thing on this whole list. So it has to be on where you put your firing tickets. Maybe we should put it on the back of the firing ticket.
I think that if we are just cognizant of what we're writing and knowing now that the details are important, that let's try and just pay attention to that and see how we do with it. If that doesn't work well, then I think Noreen had a good suggestion where we can write the brand. I've got one over here first.
Do we just say, like, if we say underglaze, put underglaze?
Yeah.
Can you put it in the newsletter and then everybody sees those directions?
Yeah.
Is the brand name important? So if it's an underglazed, you want to know if it's a Mako or,
Underglaze doesn't run.
but I'm just thinking of any of those things as I'm on the Mako site on Facebook, they're talking about different brands run at different, even though they're similar
Right.
products.
I don't know if all the fires are aware of that information, but just knowing that it's an underglaze is better than nothing at all.
So maybe we don't have to get overly detailed, but note if it's underglaze or stroke and coat or what
Well,
particular.
I should say velvet underglaze, or
Velvet
say,
underglaze.
my own glaze, think clear. something so we'll have an idea.
So I'm thinking that might be a good idea to think about altering our filing slips. Like Noreen said, maybe just put include brand.
I usually add another piece of paper because I'm just like, I can't figure out what they wanna know, and I want, if I do an underglaze on the bottom, they have, and then you can put clear on top, you can have the whole thing, the same underglaze, a little bowl or something, and you can have this underglaze on the bottom, but if you just put a clear on the top, they won't know that it's clear on top until I tell them it's, sure, it's my own, but it's a clear, but underglaze on the bottom, so they know it's gonna be sitting on the shelf. I just add a piece of paper, there's not enough room.
I think that if we all added paper though, that would be a lot of work for the people in the kiln who need to be able to grab that, look at it and go. I mean, that's good, that's great for you being thorough. If there's room, write it on the slip, yeah. But I think that we probably will need to look at just making that a little bit more clear. Okay, next we've got Mary Ann. Did you have anything you'd like to talk about today?
No.
No? Okay, that's pretty clear. Next is Sue Freeze regarding mud buckets.
Mud buckets. You know, it's, when I
Oh,
take,
no.
no, when I take stuff home to work, I'm so careful not to have any of the clay go down my drain at my house. We're not that careful here, and it's becoming a real problem. We need more education. We need to really remember more, but we need to care what goes down the sinks of this club. Because the rec center is not happy with what I'm telling them that I'm finding as a residue in the sink. I had to use a putty knife and a chore girl to get off whatever was there. So whatever they were working on, they weren't working over the bucket, they were working over the sink. And that's the residue that's gonna go down the drain, and that's where the rec center's gonna step in and have a sissy fit. So you might think, oh, she's always complaining about the buckets. There's a reason for that. We have the slop buckets on either side. If you're working, if you're a hand builder and you have a lot of mess, put it in the slop bucket. Don't put it in the bucket in the sink, because that builds up. That's for rinsing tools and minor stuff. It's the clay, it's the bucket people that have to lift this up when it's loaded with clay and dump it. I mean, we signed up for it, but the dumping is getting harder because the clay is getting thicker. Now, we made a change over in the wheel area, and I understand that it wasn't well received, but you know, those great big buckets, when they were caked with clay, it was very hard for people my age, 76, to lift up and dump. So I'm thinking about the gals that are doing this work. That's why we went to the smaller buckets. And so now we have 2 more of the big buckets in there. And I don't know, I found last week that people are taking their, the bat and what they're working on, and they're just dumping it in the bucket and scraping it off. That's gotta go in the garbage.
Yeah.
You're missing a step. Do anybody have a question as to why it's this way, or?
Could you just take a minute and kind of walk through, like you did with me, what happened, so that everyone here understands that if I wash something down the sink, it doesn't just disappear. I mean, it does to my eyes, but it ends up somewhere.
It ends up in a trap container underneath the sinks. And that gets filled up, and weekly or 10 days, a gentleman from the rec center comes in and he takes all that out. And that is filled up with water, but it also has a lot of clay particles in there that is this deep, and he has to empty it all out. And I keep asking him, how's it going? Has anything changed? No, not so far. Everything's okay. We're expecting what we're doing, but we could do better. And this, whatever product is that somebody is using and then putting in the sink, I don't know if it's an oxide, I don't know if it's clays, but for me to take a putty knife to chisel it out,
Yeah, that's not.
it's more than I signed up for, because it took me 40 minutes.
Wow.
So I just want people to be aware that a lot of stuff should go in the small buckets on the sinks, tie it up and put it in the garbage. Wash your tools in the water. And when you're putting oxides on, work over the bucket, don't work over the sink.
Yeah.
Okay? Is that enough?
Sue?
Great, thank you, Sue.
I'd like to thank Sue for her comments. I want to say something, Sue. You're speaking to the choir, the congregation.
Thank you. That's
I know
what I
that,
said.
and I was hoping that maybe something could be put in the mud times.
And here's the thing too, we have a lot of new people. And I remember coming out of class, and how much do you remember on the details? You're so worried about, am I doing this right, am I doing that right? I think we need to just encourage those people and let them know that we're here to answer questions, because you're right, it's people who maybe didn't remember or didn't get trained right, or we just need to remind them that this is important, this is critical.
And it's also in the caring, and I know there are some people that have watched people dump, and you were so kind to go and say you shouldn't do that, but they did it anyhow, and you came up and you cleaned up after them. So,
That can be part of it, when you help someone. To simply, instead of just saying, you're doing this wrong, say, you know what, there's a better way. Or the club here, this is how we do things here so that everybody can play. Or you can get really nasty and say, this is at McDonald's and your mom doesn't work here. So, you can, but just helping someone.
Yeah.
Rather than just correcting, but helping, showing them the right way, then they're less likely to do it again. That's all.
Right, and just as a reminder for all you people who are newly taking the wheel, and I know that you are told this and trained this, but just to reiterate it, make sure you take all your clay. You throw it in the garbage, throw it in the slop bucket before you go just dump it in the sink. Because I know that was something I had to learn, and learned it right away, and easy to forget. Anyway.
it's not unique to this club. Many clubs are very careful with their sinks. So we are getting lazy about it. And I don't know any other word, not caring or remembering, but we gotta step it up a little bit.
Okay, thank you. Mike, did you have anything for maintenance? Anything you want to mention?
Oh, sure.
No, I think, did you want to say something, Mark? Because I thought she talked, Shauna talked for Mark.
Good morning.
Good morning.
We repaired the spray booth last week. Just a note though, if it starts making weird noises, let me know right away. The fan was getting ready to come loose, and it was just making a weird little noise that would go away right away. So if you hear something back there, let me know. I try to check on it every time I come in, but there's a lot of machinery spinning up back there. Be careful with it. And also, one of the slab rollers, number 1, is starting to wear out. Just be gentle with it. I'm in touch with Shimpo, but it takes a long time for them to get parts from China over here. And for parts, they special order them. So it'll be a while. It might even be 6 or 7 weeks before we get the parts. But I'm going to fix number 1. Just be gentle with it when you turn the wheels. Just go slow.
How do you know which one is number 1?
It says on the blue, there's a blue housing on the side. It has a number on it.
Thank you.
It's the one closest to the wheel, the wheel area. And that's it.
Thank you, Mike. Mark, I didn't mean to overlook you. I was thinking that Shauna talked for you. Did you have something you want to say for?
No. Okay, so the elephant in the room. I have stated that I am not going to be the chair for the RACU committee next year. So we will be looking for somebody to take my place. So if anybody wants to step up and take charge, I'd appreciate you helping out. I signed up for this 2 years ago. I spent 2 years doing it. And it's time for me to get back to having some fun with the clay. So.
Wonderful, and thank you, Mark. You've done a great job of it. One item I wanted to mention, I know that when it came out in the Mud Times, it had the wrong date, and that is my bad. I think I wrote it incorrectly to June. But all these bowls that are sitting on the back patio, the Mud Times, I believe, said the 14th being today, but it's actually next Thursday, the 21st. We are going to be getting rid of those things. We have had, Linda Hall has been working out there diligently, and we've been trying to find lockers for people who put their initials on them so they don't just get tossed. But there are many items out there that don't have names on them. So please check the shelves out in the back to see if you have anything, and please take it home, or if it is in jeopardy of getting tossed. Now, if there are items out there like bowls, we'll donate them to Bowls of Hope or to the foundation, you know, depending on what it is. But we need to get that space cleared out before all of our snowbirds come back. Okay. I'm going to do that last. So, okay, updates from Shauna, first VP.
Just, mine is just about the foundation is sponsoring an auction fundraiser on November 9th. And they're asking all of the clubs who do crafts to donate some of their items that they can auction off. And they're gonna have big ticket items auctioned off in a regular auction, and then small ticket items auctioned off with jars, putting tickets in the jars and by each item. So we'll be collecting them from anybody in the club who wants to donate. What they're asking is you put your name on it and maybe an estimated value so they know what to expect or what to ask for it. And we can collect them from now until October 15th. And the fundraiser takes place, did I say that, November 9th? And it's gonna be on the foundation campus. So all the donations will benefit the Valley View Community Food Bank. So, and there was a flyer in Mud Times, and we'll probably have it in the next Mud Times with all the details.
Question?
Yes?
Where are we gonna put our donations?
Well, there's a rack back there, but we might have to designate some area, maybe in the back room.
Right now, there's a rack in the back, that little rack that sits in the hand building area, that's kind of the overflow for the kiln sometimes. On the top 3 shelves is Bowl of Hope, bottom 3 shelves is for the foundation.
Yeah.
And there are signs there.
And if we need to, we'll designate some more space.
Yeah, we sure can. Thank you, Sean. Lori, do you have anything?
Yes, I do. I'd like to thank everyone for their monitoring. We've had very little, excuse me, we haven't had to close the club. We've been putting it on Facebook if we have an opening. And everybody's just pitched in and signed up, and it's gone really well. I do have an issue with the daily cash receipts. The monitors are not realizing that there's a back page to this. It's to be signed and dated, and there's some additional things that maybe should be done. And I did change it down here at the bottom to say sign the back if you're 8 to 12 or 12 to 4, especially the earlier groups. You know, they're not closing, so they don't even think about turning it over and seeing. And we'll try to get another line in here for,
The glazes that we're selling, the clear glaze in the back, we're still not selling club glazes, but the
right.
zinc-free glaze.
So there'll be another line. I noticed yesterday, they just wrote across there, it was clear, and that was fine. And make sure you're early to take over for the next shift so that you can make sure all of everything balances. And each one, bring it all the way to the bottom of your shift so that it's very easy for each person to finish up their day. Yes.
Before, and I'd like to bring it back, before, and I'd like to bring it back, at the top here, it shouldn't be blank when you take over in the morning. The night person should have pulled it out. I know everybody's shaking their head, yeah, and then they should have their numbers up here. And the morning person should balance with those people. That's just like balancing with the person that's coming in for the next shift.
Yeah.
So, and I know they're blank all the times, but I just realized that the other day too when I was training somebody, so put things on the next day.
They know what I do.
And also, if you need any more of the checklist or these, let me know and I come in and print them out. So give me at least a day, don't just take the last one. And that'll help from the night before too, getting it ready for the next day because they'll know, oh wow, this is the last one. So I have time to come in and print it out. So, thank you.
And I do want to just say one thing about those daily monitor things. Since I have taken over as treasurer, we have not been over or short one time. And so I want to thank the monitors and the job that they do. So I appreciate it.
Thanks, Deb. Norma, did you have anything else? Nope. Okay. I had a couple of things. I do, just to let you know, I do read all of the suggestions. And if you would put your names on them, I'd be happy to get back directly to you. I can read through them if you would like me to do that, or if you have questions about one, maybe you could let me know. But we do try to go through those and answer them, resolve whatever the issue is at the time. Now, the other thing I wanted to talk about, which I know is not a favorite, we've had a lot of missing items in the last several months. From February through July, we had 10 items missing. And they weren't like little pinch pots, things you made in class. They were like a bowl for a fountain, some really nice coil bowl, I mean, all kinds of different things. And they weren't like something, there was one that there was a thought, well, somebody else could have made one really close. And there was one really close left on the shelf that didn't belong to that person. But most of them, there are artistic pieces that were taken. Cute little gnomes from amazing skills, you know. So I'm going to ask a couple things. One is we're talking about cameras again, and I know that's not that it's not a positive thing to some, but it is a reality. But I myself I sit at that front table a lot as I'm just kind of putzing around doing work. I have stopped people who have come in the back door and started wandering through. And I have stopped people who come right in the front door. If I come back in, maybe the monitor has gotten up to go wipe off tables and to come back. She's not just missing in action, she's out working, doing things. I stopped 2 women the other day and said, hey, can I help you with something? Oh, we're just looking around. I said, I'd be happy to take you on a tour and show you around. They said, no thanks, we're done, and they left. And I can tell you that it's been about 4 different people that I have stopped, and I didn't know if they were somebody new, that I was just going to introduce myself to them. Ended up, they were just people out and about who were walking through our club. So I'm going to ask everybody here, if you don't know who you see, don't be embarrassed about, oops, it might be somebody new or somebody who has even been around here for a long time, I don't know. Ask them what they need, or ask, you know, can I help you, or anything like that, or I haven't met you before, who are you? But as a club, to stop this kind of thing, it's going to take all of us. pitching in, keeping our eyes peeled. And we are likely to get cameras, we are pricing them. And primarily, just kind of the one entry room, and maybe by the other entry door too, to have some cameras there. Because we really, everybody works hard on their pieces, and these pieces are coming out of high fire that are disappearing.
So they're done.
They're done.
So they're done.
Yeah.
We all have name tags, and I'm guilty of not wearing mine, but that might help solve part of the problem, is if we make sure that everybody's wearing their name tags, because then you know they're a member, and if somebody's not wearing one, it gives you a reason to approach and say, are you new? Did you forget your badge? Wear that.
Well, another thing would be to make sure if, you said they came in the back door, so how are they, one of the other two doors over here? Or
No,
the
they
back
came
door?
in the door, the handicap door, the ADA door where you
The
push
very
the
first door,
button.
the very first door that used to be our entrance door.
Okay, that one. Oh, because that is still
The middle
open?
one.
So that is open to come in that way. Does it need to be?
Yeah, it needs to be, because we do have some people that struggle getting in. and
Okay,
if they're carrying
okay, that's
something,
right,
so-
you're right, it has that button.
The entry door is still the entry door. We
Yeah.
use that, every one of us needs to use that, but there are exceptions to everything.
Oh, yeah.
So,
No, I'm just saying that you have to sign in. So if they walk in and say, okay, can I get you to sign in? Is it open to them automatically saying, oh, I'm not a member, I just want to look around? I had that happen Monday when I was monitoring.
right, and that's ideally what should happen. It doesn't always happen.
No, I know.
Unfortunately.
How about just putting a sign at the desk or on the door that says all visitors must sign in? I like that. I mean, that does happen.
Good idea. Lori, would you be willing to make up a
Yeah,
sign?
that's fine. Well, I don't care what club, if you walk in to look around, they're not gonna let you walk in and
No.
look around. The monitor is gonna say, give me a minute, and I will take you around and show you the area.
Which is what I did Monday.
Yeah,
And they have a
Yes.
guest book already, right?
huh?
A guest book.
Yeah, we do have a
We
guest
already have
book,
one.
so, I
So
mean,
maybe we have them sign in. I mean, as it is right now, we've just been having our guests sign in when they come. But
We can
maybe
do
we
that,
have
sure.
them sign in as well.
and if you leave your monitor desk to clean or anything, you should maybe make sure somebody's
In the area.
watching the door, yeah. for
It's
you.
slow though, and it's gonna
It is,
happen.
it is.
It's gonna happen.
Yeah.
It will happen. And we have the window right there, and I hate to say it, but people go back and forth, back and forth. They probably could be waiting for an opportunity to do that, who knows?
We're all members of the club. And if the monitor is busy, this happens, people walk in, you can certainly put down whatever you're working on and walk up to them, can I help you? And you can take them on a mini tour. We can do that.
Yeah, and some of our monitors are maybe newer and they're not comfortable, doing that. So they would want somebody who's been here a while and knows,
Yeah,
which I see a
yeah,
lot.
to do the
Yeah.
tours, okay. Anyway, so I'm just asking, as a club, let's reach out, let's be aware of what's going on around us, because none of us wants to lose a piece, especially that you put that much work into.
When you get cameras, is there gonna be a committee who goes over tapes every day to see what's going on?
No, I don't think it's gonna be that necessary to have that much scrutiny. Really what I think it will be is, it's identified usually quite quickly when pieces are missing. And the tapes usually only go for like 48 hours or 72 hours. If something comes up missing, then the board will, a member from the board, probably myself, will go back and look and see if we can identify a stranger or somebody who's come in.
But there are times that members have their husbands come in to pick up a piece.
Oh.
Okay? And they try and describe it to them. How do you do that? You call the monitor, did call the bar and say I'm sending my husband?
I would say the member needs to call the monitor desk and say, my husband Joe's gonna come in, he's gonna pick up my green frog that's on the shelf, and so please allow him to do that, because normally we would not let him in.
If you have your name under the piece, that is so, I mean, we learned that from the first week that we had class.
Right.
If you don't put a name under it, you're gonna lose it.
Even
a photo.
I have an issue with that. My last name is Manchester. I make
Yeah.
something small, I can't get my name on
So
there.
you know, all you have to do is your initials. Your initials. Mine is MC, Mary Ann Coates. You don't have to put your whole name on it. There's not any MCs else in this club.
And that really helps when we have pieces that are out, like outside, to be able to identify, I mean, there might be a few duplicate initials there, but we can usually boil it down to who it
But I keep
probably
hearing
is.
put your name on stuff.
No,
Does
your
that mean
initials.
the well, and I put my initials, but when they, we're warning to put our name on stuff, not just initials. Does that mean the paper?
No,
When you're-
put your initials on your
Under piece,
artwork.
and that's it. Okay. Okay.
Kiln Committee has told me as a beginning hand building instructor coordinator to have the students write their entire name on it now. That's what I was told to tell my students.
On the bottom of the piece?
On the bottom of their piece. Now, mind you, if it's big enough, you can do that. If it's little, obviously you can't, but they are saying put your whole name on it. Or at least like an initial and a last name, or a first name and a last initial, something, because of the fact that they're not being able to read the initials.
Well, you put 3 initials on that. Mine is MLC. So I would put MLC on the bottom of my plate or whatever. There's not very many MLCs in this club. But right
You know,
now,
But I'm just saying what.
It's nice if you have room to put your full name on it, that's great. I'm not one who's likely to do that. It will be my initials and my little scratch that I generally do. But just put something so we can follow up on.
You guys have like a master book with firing marks?
We did have, and somehow during last summer when we were closed down and the monitoring desk came out, it disappeared. So I think we should be, I'd be really open to starting a new one. It was a book that showed people who have just little signs or their little stamp or their initials, whatever it was gonna be like on your product. It was in the book, so.
we have marking pencils in the drawer. They're expensive, but they last forever. And once you mark at the bottom of your pot, it goes through both fibers. So spend the money and you'll get your piece.
Okay, can we explain what that is again? I don't know.
There's a marking pencil, it's a black pencil, I believe they run $17 and it's like, and you can write on the bottom of your pods and they can make it through the firing. It won't go away. Any other questions or comments?
What if we put up a sign that said, we've got cameras, you don't have to say, we all have a camera in our purse. But, so my sister used to do couponing or something in the stores, and they had this thing that looked like a camera, and people used to ask her when she took those down if they could have them, they put it up at their house, because then it looked like they had a camera. This was years ago, but that could even deter people to think, oh, well, somebody's watching me. You know, the way we all hate that, but somebody needs to be watched if they're walking off with people's product.
Right, that's the thing, nobody wants to lose their things. A lot of these items are items that could have gone over to Del Sol Gallery for sale, and we don't, it doesn't matter what the quality is, what it is. People don't belong wandering through and helping themselves, it's not okay. Hold on, we got one more.
No, my husband belongs to the Metal Club, and they've had cameras there for years. And when somebody, an item is missing and they see it on the camera, they try to give that person an opportunity to come. And I know a case where he denied it until he was showed the camera. So you don't want to get to that point, but you know, the metal is pretty.
Yeah.
And that is not our goal. Our goal is not to say, you did this or you did this. Our goal is to just simply stop the bleeding. And I think we all know that, does anybody shop in a grocery store? Go to Kohl's? Go to Dillon's? Any of that. Everybody has cameras.
And it's a shame, but it's
It is a shame. It's a reality. It's bothersome, but it's a reality. So we will talk about that further once we get the information on what they cost and all of that. I'm hoping not to go do some big elaborate thing, just something to stop the bleeding there.
Lynn?
Yes.
Just a question. Is there a way that we could have the lock on our door open with our card?
Oh, yeah, to get into the studio?
I would say that they are not going to do that.
Okay.
If that was
is Sun City West?
Sun City West, that would be quite a big expense and more IT work, and they're struggling right now. So.
They do that at the wood shop. You sign in with your rec card, and then you sign in with your. Yes, they can't get.
Yeah, we're gonna have a drawing. I'm sorry that this has gone so long.
Wow.
I just want to make one little statement, just one statement, is you know we are a scent-free club. We've had a few problems, and people come up and has told us, and we've told the people, that individual, we don't make a big deal out of it, but, you know, just remember, your friends or whatever, if there's somebody that's bothering you, just let us know.
Did everybody sign?
Okay. Deb, or how about Shauna? You guys can trade off back and forth. We got a drawing. Oh, I'm sorry, Linda still has a comment.
Don't be sorry.
Any other comments?
Betty Cool asked me to make this announcement, and if I don't, she'll have my hide. Did you tell them about the Face Club? Whatever it's called. Facebook. So, and basically, if you are on Facebook, we have a private Facebook group for the Clay Club. And we would like everybody who's on Facebook to be a member of that. And all you have to do is go on Facebook, search for Sun City West Clay Club, 5 words, and it will come up, private groups, and you can click join. Or you can just look at it and see if it's something you want to join. And those of you that are already on it, the other reminder is that this is a web page for only Clay Club members and Clay Club stuff. So we share our work, that's the main reason. Don't put anything personal on, like I have a beautiful upholstered chair for sale, or have a good cleaning lady that wants it. So, just for Clay Club stuff. And I'm coming to this meeting, and it's a great discussion thing, and the first thing that jumped into my mind is that only 10% of the club members are here. And we're preaching to the choir in here, and I don't know what the answer is to it, but I wouldn't trust the other 90% to read the Mud Times even, you know. But encourage new members to come. If you can come, come. If you can't come, watch it on YouTube. It's there, and it's good information.
Thank you, Linda.
And Betty, I did it.
I did my homework too, Betty, so. Okay, we are going to draw some numbers and give away some tickets. I want to thank all of you for making the trek this morning. I mean, with the parking lot the way it is, all of you had to make an extra effort, and I really appreciate that. Thank you. Oh, did you? Did anybody else have any other comments before we get drawing? There's no new business, so here we go.
Number 15.
Is Nancy Billinghurst.
Nancy, here you go.
I never win anything.
You did.
And never say that again.
Terry Roy? You're a winner.
How many did you have, Lynn?
Eight, there's 8 of them. Yeah, there is a
21. Oh, sorry, I'm looking out there. 21.
Judy Savage.
Judy Savage.
Thank you.
Get it open. 37 is Annette Emerson.
Better late than never, Annette.
Number 4.
4? Who's number 4?
Deb
Oh,
Harbaugh.
no, I can't do that. No. Number 6.
If it's a board member, it's not.
Joe Argentine.
Is that the last one then?
No, there are 5 more.
Oh my goodness.
See, it was worth it.
Number 11. Marianne Judd.
Good for you. 2 more.
That'll help you. Your flowers.
Number 33.
Lynn.
Nope. She said no. Didn't know we have to say. 28.
Pam Lake.
Right there.
One more.
One more.
Go ahead.
Okay, one more. We don't have a 39. Go figure. We don't have a 49. Well, that was all just in case. This is number 3. Lori Bunn.
No.
Bound to come up with something. 27. Patty Seabright.
Yeah, thank you all. I appreciate everybody coming today. And I think that brings us to a close. Do I hear a motion to close the meeting? Meeting closed.